Hello, this is Tom with the Tractor Rescue Ranch. Since I've got my parts ordered for the starter, I was going to move on to the next thing I wanted to take a look at, and that's this clutch. This tractor sat for years, and the guy that I bought it from got this tractor when he purchased the property that it was on, and he got it going and running at least one time that I'm aware of. I seen a video of him driving it, parking in a different spot. He had it running, but anyway, he had told me that the clutch had been stuck and that they had pulled it apart, got it broke loose, but the clutch, ever since I've had it, moved it around, loading it on and off trailers, hasn't worked quite right. It doesn't like to disengage, and it doesn't snap over center like it should. So I am going to just pull it apart. Oh, also the cotter pins, he never put the cotter pins back in on those adjusting nuts. So I'm going to just pull it apart and inspect it and stick it back together, get it adjusted right, and see if we can get better results from it. So after you pop the dust cover off, dust cover goes right there. If they were on it, you would have cotter pins on these adjusting bolts, but they're not there. So I'm going to just back them off. I tried a socket on it, and it's too tight up there on that belt pulley to get the socket in there, so I'm going to just have to run them out by hand here with an end wrench. That don't make a lot of sense. I'm going to have to look in the book and see those two wear plates are just together on each other. That adjusting ring doesn't look too bad. It's just real dirty. You can see that it's been rusted up real bad. It needs cleaned up, but I'll have to look and see if we're still supposed to have both of those in there. I'm not sure on that. Boy, those rusty springs don't look too good. I'll have to see if I can get a set of springs for it. There's should be specs in there on how much pressure those springs have on them. Oh yeah, look how rusty that is. Needs cleaned up really well. Yeah, it's no wonder that it didn't want to let go. I'm putting everything, keeping everything in the proper order here so that it can go back to the same order. That surface there doesn't look too bad. I'll get it all cleaned up. Get all these rust parts cleaned up. Put it back together and we'll see how it goes. I don't know why this inner plate is all rusty and the rest of it isn't too bad. That's kind of hard to figure out, but it's no wonder why it wouldn't let go on me. Very easy. I'll get this all cleaned up and we'll start putting it back together. These pads are cleaning up real nice with just that wire brush, but this inner plate, that's rusty as all get out, so I had to get something a little bit more aggressive, just a orbital sander, see if that'll clean it up a little bit better. Okay, I have got these all cleaned up here. So I am going to just put it back together the same order it came apart. These parts, I got all the surface rust off. There's a little bit of pitting. I think that it'll probably be okay once it gets seated in. Once it gets a little bit of use, I think it'll be fine. Probably wouldn't hurt to put a whole new clutch in it, but that's not really on the budget. Cleaned up pretty good though, considering what it looked like. I'm surprised it even worked before. And it's kind of a mystery to me why there's two discs on this outside side. I looked in the book and it only shows one. So I don't know if they wore thin and somebody just put an extra one in there because they were wearing thin or what. But I'm going to put it back together the way I found it. It seemed to hold on to things here today. Well, that's going to have to work until I can get the starter back in it and spin it. See how things are working. I feel a lot better about that. That clutch is going to work a lot better than it did. Thanks for watching.